This video is in regards to the Unit 2 project statistics in the media. I mainly want this video to be about how to complete the Unit 2 project with a very heavy focus on the graphs and how to analyze them, how to find your three things that you notice from the graphs. I'm going to go over some other things very quickly regarding the Unit 2 project, but that is the main driver for this video is the graphs for the project. So I do have a practice article that you can try and do everything on. This is available in ClassKick. Those of y'all that have the ClassKick login, the ClassKick accounts to log into, you should see Unit 2 project notes there once you log in, and then you could click through this and then practice going through this article if you need a refresher on or a heads up on what the Unit 2 project is going to be about. Okay, so what is the title of the article? Simply just go to the article and look very carefully on what the title is supposed to be. It's not just what the first line you see. There is more to the title that may be apparent. So just look very carefully on what the title is about. And again, look for who wrote to the article, either at the top or at the bottom of the article. The date that it was written on, same thing. And then when you read the article, I want you to write 2 to 4 sentences that summarize what the article was about. Try not to copy and paste from the article. Try not to use AI to create your summaries. I can tell whether you use AI or not. Use the best way that you can. Use your own words to summarize the important points of the article. And that basically tells me what the article is about. Okay? And yeah, that's it. That's it for summarizing the article. Let's go into the graphs. Okay, so in the project, there are going to be 2 graphs. From those 2 graphs, you need to tell me something that you see about the graphs. So for this graph represents income, or the title for the graph is Income Impacts Sport Participation. Percentage of core participants by household income. We have under 25K, 25 to 49.9K, 50 to 74.9K, and then 75 to 99.9K, and then over 100K in income. Okay? In this graph, I want you to tell me 3 things that you can interpret from the graph shown above. And I have a disclaimer in red that I want you to pay close attention to. Do not just tell me the obvious. I'm looking for an analysis of the graph that involves comparing data and maybe a little bit of math that would then show me something that I may not have noticed by just looking at the graph. For example, saying 4% of participants that make under 25K playing lacrosse is obvious. I don't need you to tell me that. I can just look at the graph. I need more than just stating the obvious. So, one thing that I can say from just this graph in particular, lacrosse is 4% under 25K. The families that make under 25K, only 4% are playing lacrosse, which is the lowest out of all of them. Now, and more specifically, it is from the highest percentage of low-income people. It is 12% lower. It is 12 points lower compared to some of the higher percentages of low-income sports or low-income families that participate in sports. So there is a 12-point gap with the highest points, the highest like football and basketball. It's the same thing with 100K. If I notice with 100K plus, 56% of 100K plus families play lacrosse, which is a huge gap even with swimming and with the lowest percentage, 27. With swimming, there is a 13-point difference in percentages, and then with football, there is a 26% difference compared to lacrosse. Okay? So all of that I'm saying right there is an analysis of the graph. It's stuff that you would type out and tell me because it is something significant to notice. Simply stating 56% of 100K plus families, 100K plus income families play lacrosse, that's not enough. I need you to add more analysis, add more context to the graphs and the conclusions that you can find or that you can get from analyzing the graph. Another example. This graph, which is the race we don't want to win, that's the title, prevalence of overweight, obese children in 16 peer countries. Simply just stating that for the United States, males make up 35% of overweight or obesity. That's not enough. I need an analysis. So one thing I can notice is that between the United States, that is, so I can do some math here, that's about 4.5%, 4.5 points for women compared to the United States. And then I would continue on and just trying to do the math. So 30.9, 32.4. Looks like that's about 1.5 to the males. 1.5 points between males and females in the United Kingdom. 26.6, 22.7. That looks like it's about 3.9 on the women's side. And then I would just continue on going about. So after figuring out the differences between the countries, I can then analyze a little bit more about what's going on. I could tell more about what's happening specifically between males and females. So if I count out the amount of females that have, or the amount of countries that have more females overweight than males, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 countries that have an overweight female population compared to the overweight male, or more overweight females than overweight males. If I go to the male side, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 countries that have more of a male, more overweight males population compared to overweight females. Okay, so an analysis that I can say from these 16 peer countries, that the amount of countries that have overweight males and overweight females are the same. There are 8 countries that have more overweight males. There are 8 countries that have more overweight females. Okay, so that's one conclusion. Another conclusion, I'm noticing the differences here, and I see a big gap with Spain. Spain has the highest percentage difference, or the highest percentage point difference of obesity with males compared to females, with it being a 10-point difference between women, meaning there are a lot more males of children's ages 5 to 17, a lot more males that are overweight compared to females, with it being a 10-point difference. The smallest difference, this would be another conclusion, would be Denmark. Denmark has about 1.1 points compared to other countries. So this is the smallest difference out of all of them, with Spain being the largest difference. So hopefully what I said made sense, but those are the types of conclusions that I'm looking for when trying to tell me your 3 conclusions, your 3 things that you notice about the graphs from the project. Okay, not simply stating United States has 35% overweight males. That's obvious. I want you to analyze the graph and tell me things compared to other parts of the data and why you're pointing out that specific thing. What's significant about it? What are some things you can number crunch into it to kind of further drive the point of the data point that you're drawing attention to? Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that y'all understood the graphs portion of this. That's the biggest part that I'm grading. Okay, and that's it. If you have any questions, of course, just feel free to reach out through my phone number and through my email. That is my work number, so just feel free to contact it. And then, of course, if you have any questions, just email me. Email first, and then if I don't respond in a timely manner to email, give me a text or a call, whichever. Anytime after 5 p.m., I'm not going to answer, but If it's important enough and you really need some help, I'll, of course, do what I can to answer right there and then. Okay? So, that's all I got for this video. That's it. Y'all have a good one. Take it easy, y'all.